Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, Senators approve on second reading a bill seeking to postpone the barangay and SK elections to next year. President Bongbong Marcos reveals Asia is now under threat in his UN General Assembly speech. And later, amid controversies, should the government ban the Philippine offshore gaming operations or POGOs? Senate Minority Leader Koko Pimental joins us in the program. Well, senators passed on second reading a bill postponing the barangay and SK elections yet again from December 5, 2022 to December 2023. The minority bloc opposed the measure, but Senator Jaime Marcos, chairperson of the Senate Electoral Reforms, believes that the extra time could give lawmakers an opportunity to amend the barangay and SK elections. The Commission on Elections says they have spent over ₱1 billion in preparations for the polls. They also started printing out the ballots this week. Let's go straight to the source of this story. We have Senate Minority Leader Koko Pimental. Senator Pimental, welcome back to the source, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for inviting me again, and magandang umaga, Pinky, at sa inyo pong lahat.
There's a lot to talk about, sir. Umpisahan na po natin yung barangay and SK elections. This is already, the postponement rather, was passed at the House of Representatives. It passed on second reading at the Senate, and you were one of those that opposed this, sir. Tell us the reason why you do not want the barangay and SK elections postponed again.
Because this is another postponement. Pangatlo na yata ito for this particular batch of SK and barangay officials. They would serve, if the extension is granted, then they would serve 5.5 years when in fact, when they ran in May 2018, the term for the positions that they were running in was just 2 years only, because nakainan po yun ng 1 year ng na-extended term of their predecessors. So, if we wanted to restore the time period that they lost, so +1 lang sana, pero ang mangyayari po ngayon, 5.5 years. And then, what are the reasons to postpone? Siguro kaming mga who took the position not to postpone, our main reason would be, since that is already the scheduled election, let us respect it. The reform in the SK and the barangay level will start with having firm commitments by honoring the schedule of the election. So yung mga magpapapostpone ang mag-justify why we need to postpone. And para sa akin, the reasons advanced, the reasons given are not sufficient to justify postponing again the elections of the incumbent SK and barangay officials.
Si Senator Jaime Marcos was actually saying that this will actually give the lawmakers time to institute reforms in the barangay and SK elections. And one of those would be a possible extension of the terms of the barangay and SK officers. Is it right? Do you think it is proper, or is it right to actually extend their terms?
Hindi nga eh. All of these reasons given as justifications to postpone, para sa akin, are not sufficient and are not good reasons. Alam mo, ang ano naman, ang study ng mga laws, dapat yan tuloy-tuloy. So, even as we study the local government code, for example, the elections of the officials to be elected under the local government code, we should not postpone. Tuloy-tuloy po dapat yan. That should not be given as a reason to postpone. So, kahit matuloy ang eleksyon ngayong December, tuloy pa rin ang pag-aaral. Ano ang posibleng reforma sa barangay level at saka sa SK level. And wag nating kalimutan na ang SK nga, meron ng bagong law yan, the SK Reform Law. O di, natapos na dapat ang reforma sa SK. Ngayon kung meron pang may nakitang mga problema, hindi reason yun na not to have elections. Tuloy ang elections, pero tuloy ang pag-aaral ng problema.
But would you submit this is already a losing battle for those who are opposing the postponement of these elections?
Yes, I think the proposal got an overwhelming support sa House. And then in the Senate, yesterday, two of us voted no in the approval on second reading. So since there are 24 members in the Senate, pwede na nating i-assume na 22 versus 2. So long shot
At,
yung long shot yung position namin na Pinky.
baka it's possible to even say imposible na.
Long shot na lang kaysa sa imposible.
Okay. Let's move on, because aside from that, no, we understand that the Commission on Elections has been preparing for this. Supposed to be this week, nag-umpisa na yung pag-print ng ballots ng National Printing Office. But if and when this is postponed, it would be prudent, no, sir, that a decision is made at the soonest possible time para matigil na rin, if ever, yung preparation for the December elections, hindi ho ba?
Kaya nga natanong ko rin during the interpellation, ano na bang stage ngayon sa timetable of election activities ng COMELEC? When do they need to know the final decision of Congress? And ang nasabi naman sa akin, October 6, kung wala pang postponement, magka-filing of the certificates na of candidacy.
Yeah.
So ako
That's
naman,
right.
sabi ko, sige, I'll finish with my interpellation. I will state my vote. Let it be, kung yan ang will ng majority, ipaalam na natin sa COMELEC so that, you know, nagtitipid, kung one reason is magtipid daw eh. So, kasi COMELEC will continue to follow and implement the law unless it is told that the law has been repealed or amended. So, we do not want COMELEC to incur expenses which will be wasted. Diba? For what kind of expenses? For example, printing of ballots with the date. Andun yung date of the election.
Apo.
So, that cannot be used for 2023 anymore. Di sayang po yung sayang po yung millions of pesos na gagastusin para doon. Yung training para sa akin hindi masasayang yun kasi for as long as you train the people by next year parang refresher course na rin sa kanila yon. So at saka mabuti na yun, the more people who know how elections work, the better for us.